Hello and welcome to PrepSmart. So today we are going to discuss about the important news that came in the Indian Express and the Hindu. So these are the news that we are going to cover today. First, from the Indian Express, the two stories that we are going to talk about is first, World Bank is financing for air pollution control in Delhi. And in the explain section of the Indian Express, we are going to discuss about that there are certain antibiotics and creams that are used as combination medicines and what are the consequences of using combination medicines. Then from the Hindu, the two articles that we are going to talk about is first, has been seen an increase in the tiger population in the Nameri Tiger Reserve. So we are going to understand about the Nameri Tiger Reserve in detail. And the fourth and the last article that we are going to talk about is Places of Worship Act. Okay, so first let us start with the first news of today, that is come in the Indian Express newspaper, which is World Bank now is going to uh, give or support finances for tackling the air pollution in Delhi. So now what is the context of this particular news? Basically, that there is a project that has been launched by the Delhi government, which is titled as Swachh Hawa Swasth Delhi, which means clean air and healthy Delhi. Basically, this is a pilot project of all 13 districts of Delhi, which will be starting from September 2026 to August 2033. Now, in this particular scheme, there are multiple approaches has been taken, and for that, a good amount of finance has been needed. So for that, World Bank is going to give around 60 to 65% of finances, and the remaining 30 to 35% will be borne by the Delhi state government itself. Okay. Now, what else is important from this particular news? Now, this particular project will be targeting the Indo-Gangetic Plain states that is there, basically the Punjab, Haryana, these areas together. Like basically, it will be targeting the trans-boundary pollution. Okay, trans-boundary pollution. So we are going to talk about this also in detail. Now, what are the prelims pointer that is important in this particular news? That is, there are certain organizations that are taking responsibility of this particular initiative. First is Commission for Air Quality Management, CAQM, and the second is National Clean Air Program, or NCAP. So first, if we talk about that Commission for Air Quality Management, so this is a basically statutory body, which is very important for us to remember. Okay. So first, if we talk about the Commission for Air Quality Management, or CAQM, it's a statutory body which was established under the CAQM Act. And this particular organization is responsible for managing and enforcing the GRAP mandate. GRAP is basically Graded Response Action Plan, which is an emergency response system implemented across the NCR to counter deteriorating air quality. Okay, so GRAP is implemented in the Delhi NCR region by which particular organization, CAQM, which is a statutory body. And in terms of the directives that is given by a CAQM, the directives of CAQM are binding on nature. Okay, binding on both SPCB, State Pollution Control Board, as well as National Pollution Control Board. Okay, and if any directives is given by the CAQM, that actually overrides the directives given by the SPCB. So basically, CAQM has a supremacy over the regulations in terms of pollution. Okay, the next important organization that has been a part of this particular initiative is National Clean Air Program. Now, this was basically launched by Ministry of Environment in the year 2019. And the aim of this particular targeted framework is to reduce the amount of particulate matter, both PM10 and PM 2.5 by 20 to 30% in a phased manner in the non-attainment cities. So National Clean Air Program is basically for the entire country in the city areas, whereas the CAQM is for the Delhi NCR region. Now, what else is important for us to understand here, that what are the air pollutants or the key pollutants that we are responsible, or we are like very much having trouble of, right? So what are those kind of air pollutants? The air pollutants are like, so if we talk about the air pollutants, I want you to pause the video here and just try to remember the name of air pollutants, okay, if you can remember them. So first of all is very much important is sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, right? Then ground level ozone. Apart from that, there is also lead. There is your benzene and benzopyrene. Benzopyrene. Then arsenic, right? Nickel as well, right? So these are the, if anyone I'm okay, and also PM 2.5 and PM 10. Okay, so there is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and which one I am missing out? I think I'm missing, yeah, ammonia, right? Yes. So these are the total 12 air pollutants that we talk about. Now, my question to you is that there are two very important indices. One is this one, NAAQS, which stands for National Ambient Air Quality Standards. And the second one is AQI. AQI stands for National Air Quality Index. Now, the NAAQS, it measures for total 12 pollutants, whereas AQI measures for 8 pollutants. Now, my question to you, which you have to answer in the comment section, that what 4 air pollutants extra that has been measured in NAAQS but not added in AQI. Okay, this much you have to do. You have to study by yourself and you have to answer me in the comment. Okay, now in terms of mains pointer, what is important from this particular news in terms of GS3 is that here the government has talked about the air shade approach, which is basically used in the Indo-Gangetic Plain states, Punjab, Haryana and UP, to address the transboundary pollution. So this air shade management is actually one of the strategies that could be adopted and given by the NCAP. Right? So these are some of the managements like airshed management, public awareness, technological innovation, policy reform. Now, what basically airshed management is? So airshed management is basically, they suppose it is a particular geographical area. In our case, it is the Indo-Gangetic Plain or the Delhi NCR region. Now, in this particular geographical area, obviously the topography, like the land topography and the climate conditions are more or less same, right? The wind pattern, the temperature inversion that we see specifically in the winter time, all of these are same. And because of that, pollutions, they trap in the air masses and that cause air pollution, and this area behaves as a uniform area, this entire NCR region. So that is why now the actions will be taken in the airshed approach. So we are not only focusing on the Delhi region but the areas around Delhi, and here you can use as a keyword this particular term for your GS3 answers, fragmented versus coordinated action. Okay, in terms of air pollution related question or any kind of pollution related question, policy discussion. Okay. Okay. Now, after this, the next news that we are going to talk about is this one. In the explain section of the Indian Express, there is the discussion of the antibiotics to creams, the perils of combination medicines. Now, basically, the first question comes is, what are combination medicines? Okay, combination medicines They are also known as FDCs or fixed dose combinations. Okay, so FDC, they stand for fixed fixed dose combinations. Right, basically what is this fixed dose combination or combination drugs? Where two or more active ingredients, basically two or more different kind of drugs, they are combined together in a single product. Like sometimes you might have seen, if you are facing a diarrhea, in diarrhea cases, the doctor often gives us a particular medicine called Norflox TZ. Right, this particular medicine is called the Norflox TZ. Now Norflox TZ is a combination of norfloxacin and tinidazole. Now norfloxacin is used for diarrhea which is related to bacterial infection. Okay, so if you are having the diarrhea because of some bacterial food poisoning, your norfloxacin will take care of that infection. On the contrary, tinidazole acts if you are having the diarrhea because of the amoebic dysentery. Okay, amoebic dysentery, it's basically a kind of protozoa related disease. Now, the chances of having both the infections, the person is suffering from both the infections simultaneously at the same time, that is bacterial as well as protozoal infection, is very, very rare. So that means if I am having dysentery or diarrhea because of the bacterial infection and I am taking Norflox TZ, in that particular case, my body is getting also exposed to tinidazole as well. Right, and tinidazole has no effect in no role in my body in that particular situation. So obviously my body is getting exposed to medicines that is not needed, and that will create a condition of selective pressure. Selective pressure, basically, suppose some resistant strain was already present in my body, and because now it has been exposed to antibiotic, okay, the normal bacteria, they will die because they can't survive in the presence of the antibiotic. But the resistant one, which has no effect of the antibiotic, it will get a chance to survive more, reproduce more, increase its number more, and ultimately I will be get infected with a resistant strain. Okay, so that means the most important problem that is coming out of using the combination medicine is the development of antimicrobial resistance that we are talking about a lot nowadays, right? So apart from that, also there is a risk of patient health and dosing inflexibility. Like say for example, if depending on how severe the disease is, again, suppose my doctor has to increase the concentration of norfloxacin. But now he has no control, because as much as he increases the concentration of norfloxacin, automatically the concentration of tinidazole will also get increased. Right, so that means that there is an inflexibility in the dosing that the doctor needs to do. Now here, what is the concern in that particular news? In this particular news, the concern that is coming is basically for the irrational FDCs. Okay, irrational FDCs. Now, what is irrational FDCs? Countries, say for example, US, UK, and also as per the WHO regulation, a company can only make FDCs if it has been proven that the two medicines together work better as compared to the components separately. Like say for example, there is medicine A, it has certain effect on the patient. There is medicine B, it has certain effect on the patient. Now, only if it has been proved, if you combine both A and B together, it will have more better effect on the patient. The effect will be enhanced. then only FDCs are created. This is as per the norm of WHO as well as per the norm of US and UK, right? But in India, the regulations are not that much tight. So there are many FDCs are there, like say for example, antibacterials, right, or antimicrobials. Even in, if you see the creams and everything we use there, they claim of using some natural Ayurvedic product, right, like say for example aloe vera gel or tea tree oil or Ghृत Kumari extract. Now it is not proved by any research or any data that if we are using these things in combination, they are having better effect. So if it is not proved, then we call them irrational FDCs, right? And again, what are the problem of using them together? It will potentially increase the chances of antimicrobial resistance. It also becomes costlier sometimes. It have some effect on the health of the patient. There is dosing inflexibility. So that is why now this thing has been taken care of. Okay, so this was all about this particular article. Next, we will be moving to the article from the Hindu. Now, in the Hindu, this article has come from the environment section, where it is talking about the tiger population quadruples at Assam's Namiri Tiger Reserve in 3 years. Okay, so as you can see here in this particular map, these are the 7 national parks that is present in Assam. Okay, Raimuna, Manas, Urang, Nameri, Kaziranga, Dibru Sahikwa, and Dihing Patkai. These are the 7 national parks that we can see. Now, among these, there are 4 tiger reserves present in the Assam. Okay, in the district of Assam, what are the name of the tiger reserve? That is the Nameri Tiger Reserve. Then there is the Orang Tiger Reserve. There is the Manas Tiger Reserve, and there is the Kaziranga Tiger Reserve. Now, Kaziranga we all know is very famous. Kaziranga and Manas also for the one-horned rhinoceros, right? But here we are talking about the tiger reserves. Now, these 4 is very important. They are present in the district of Assam, and among these 4, the Kaziranga Tiger Reserve and the Manas Tiger Reserve are also designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Okay, so now next we will be focusing specifically on the Nameri Tiger Reserve. Now, Nameri Tiger Reserve, as we have already discussed, is present in the state of Assam in the Sonitpur district. Now, this particular tiger reserve, that is the Nameri Tiger Reserve, it is sharing its northern boundary. Okay, so we can see this is the Nameri Tiger Reserve. It is sharing its northern boundary with the Pakke Tiger Reserve, which is present in the Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, next, what are the rivers that is flowing through the Nameri Tiger Reserve? Jia Bhoreli Tiger Reserve, which is the tributary of Brahmaputra River, and also Nameri. Obviously, from the name of Nameri only, Nameri Tiger Reserve name came, and Bor Dikurai rivers. Okay, what kind of vegetation we can see? Because it's the northeastern part of our country, so basically tropical evergreen, semi-evergreen and moist deciduous forest is seen. And key species are Bengal tiger, clouded leopard, dhole, sambar, barking deer, and the endangered white-winged wood duck. Okay, so these are the static part from the Nameri Tiger Reserve that you should be taken care of for your upcoming examinations. Okay. Now, next the news, the last one that we are going to cover for today is Places of Worship Act. Now, recently what has been happened, there is, yeah, okay. So recently there is a judicial development happened in the Allahabad High Court. Basically, there was a case which was ongoing in the Varanasi temple, Kashi Vishwanath temple, regarding the corridor expansion of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Now, in this particular verdict, it has been come now that they could actually extend the corridor portion of the Vishwanath Dham. So basically in this particular case, they have defined between 2 different aspects of this particular act. So there was one aspect of conversion versus land acquisition. Land acquisition. Okay, so there is the Act of Places of Worship Act 1991, and as per this particular act, there are certain objectives of this act. First, to provide for the maintenance of the religious character of any place of worship. Basically, as per the section 3 of this particular act, the conversion of any place of worship is prohibited. Like, you cannot convert that place of worship from one faith to other faith, and even from within the same faith. That is completely prohibited. And also, any religious place which has a particular identity on 15th August 1947 will not be questioned for change as per this particular act. That comes under the section 4 of the Places of Worship Act. So as and all, this particular act was placed to curb the communal tension that might arise because of this questions. Now, there are certain exceptions of this particular act also. Like for specifically, the act does not apply for the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid dispute. So this particular case was taken away from this particular act. Also, if any monument belongs or protected under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and remains Act 1958, then also in that case this Places of Worship Act will not be applicable. Or if any dispute has already been resolved, okay, or abandoned before the enactment, they will also not be taken consideration of this particular act. Now, what has been happened in this particular ruling? Here the High Court has held that the Places of Worship Act only prohibits the conversion. Okay, as I said, as per the section 3, it only prohibits the conversion of any place of worship to any other faith or within that same faith as well. But here the question was not for conversion, but the question was for the acquire of the religious site for the public projects. And in this particular act, there has nowhere mentioned that this is not allowed or this is not legal, provided the government is also providing compensation for the space acquisition. Okay, so that was the main case here. It has been said that it does not bar or curtail the state's authority to compulsorily acquire religious property for a legitimate secular and public purpose, such as building roads or infrastructure. Okay, so this was the major case. Now, in this judgment, according to this judgment, also another question has come, that is the very famous case of the Gyanvapi Mosque case. Okay, so there were two cases that were going on. One was this one, which was the Kashi Vishwanath Dham corridor expansion. And in this particular act, as per the Places of Worship Act, the High Court of Allahabad has said that the Places of Worship Act prohibits the conversion, but it has no mention about acquisition of sites for public projects. So that is why the area adjacent to the Kashi Vishwanath temple can be acquired for the extension of the corridor of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. The other case that was there, which was the Gyanvapi Mosque case, which is basically a mosque adjacent to Kashi Vishwanath temple. In that particular case, there is a tussle between the mosque community and the temple authority, saying that the area where the mosque is present today is there was an ancient extension of the temple was present, and during the period of Aurangzeb, that area was demolished, and on that the mosque was created. Right, so basically that is the tussle, but for that case till now there has no verdict has come. So we will be not discussing about that here. We will be just remembering that Places of Worship Act, what is the property of Places of Worship Act, is that it prohibits the conversion to any place of worship, and any religious organizations situation on the 15th August 1947, whatever its nature was, that will not be questioned. Okay, so that comes under the section 4 of this particular act. Okay, and these are the certain exceptions. Okay. So this are the news that I needed to cover for today's newspaper analysis. I also tried to cover the from the Hindu the important news that was today, and that was important for your prelims, mains, and also upcoming other competitive exams. So that was all for today. If you like joining my Telegram channel, you can scan this particular code, or you can directly join the channel. I will add the link in the comment section. There I will be also posting the practice MCQs today night. So after doing the class, you can come and just revise by doing those questions. Thank you for joining the class. Have a nice day. Bye bye.